Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of MDC in Action. My name is James Pierre. Joining us now is Margaret Lowe-Smith, President of Atlantic Live. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start from the beginning. Tell us more about the concept behind startup here in Miami.
The idea was that there was this burgeoning startup energy in the city of Miami, and we wanted to find a way to capture it, understand it, and understand also sort of how it wasn't just in Miami, but how it's being reflected across the country and around the globe. And we were lucky to get a grant from the Knight Foundation, who saw the same thing and wanted to sort of build something to bring people together, to learn from one another, and to grow businesses.
So definitely it's not about the weather, it's more about
the weather. The weather is really nice. The weather is a great addition, and I must say the fact that we do it here at the end of March every year is not bad.
How do you think of small business leaders here in Miami, what do they have to do to stay attractive to the world market that we're dealing with?
You know, I can't say that I'm a business expert. I'm more expert in journalism and putting events together that bring the smartest minds in any field to talk about those things. I mean, obviously, people need to have a singular idea, something that people want or need or discover that they want and need, or that serves a sort of greater purpose, and it has to, there has to be a business behind it, sort of a sense of market possibility. And we just heard from one of our speakers, one of the best ways to create a successful business, and I thought this was so interesting, was that instead of trying to always seek answers, the important thing is to ask questions, to ask the right question.
Yeah. One of the key elements you mentioned throughout your speech is how to build the creative communities, and communication, of course, is a big part of that. How important do you think it is for local business here in Miami to have that aspect?
Well, they have to communicate because people have to know that they exist, and they have to understand that, you know, you can call it their market, their audience, the people who they're trying to serve, and so they have to either get out and meet people, either physically or through social media, and make a real connection to community, to understand people.
Yeah. Obviously, the big question is what's next after the startup city Miami for local business leaders?
That's right, that's right. And in fact, one of the things that we hope to do is to take this startup city Miami and do it in many cities across the country. But I think and hope that people either come here and learn, get inspired, build businesses, and also I think one of the best things about this event is that people have an opportunity to network with one another, meet people that they might otherwise not meet, and things can happen that way.
I noticed we have small business leaders in the room, and also some students in here participating. How important do you think it is for a student to be part of sessions like that?
You know, I love having students in our audiences because they come wildly open-minded and interested and wanting to learn and wanting to meet people. You know, whether they're looking for jobs or looking how to build a business when they get out of school, there's a kind of youthful sense of possibility that just fuels any audience in a really wonderful way.
Well, say thank you so much, Margaret. It was a pleasure having you on stage.
A total pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Cool programs for hot jobs. Let Miami-Dade College jumpstart your career. We offer bachelor's degrees in film and TV production, nursing, electronics engineering, information systems technology, supervision and management, supply chain management, or choose from 300 other programs to study. You can take classes during the day, evening, weekend, or online. For more info, visit MDC.edu or call 305-237-8888. Get the knowledge and training for today's in-demand jobs. Register now. Miami-Dade College.
Joining us now, Matt Hagman, Director of Knight Foundation. Thank you so much for being here.
James, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. And thank you for being here at Startup City, Miami.
Absolutely, it's an honor. The third annual of the Atlantic Startup City, what do you think is the meaning behind that? How important is it for local business leaders here in Miami?
Yeah, well, this was actually the first conference. You know, one of our strategies as part of trying to build the entrepreneurial ecosystem in Miami is to create ways for people to connect, share, learn, and sort of convenings like there's a way to do that. And Startup City Miami was actually the first one that we funded to do this. You know, since then, obviously, we've added a lot more things to the calendar, from Emerge Americas to Black Tech Week, where we were together last, to things like the Miami Mini Maker Fair and SIME and Miami Music Summit, all sorts of things, really filling up the calendar with lots of things. But this actually was the first. And I think that the idea of Startup City Miami is to create a forum by which, you know, we can learn and share and also sort of take stock, see how we're doing and what we need to do next. Because, you know, as I mentioned at the outset, you know, this is something that, you know, the work is ongoing, and we need to continue sort of assess and pivot and iterate to find, you know, sort of that next step.
Yeah. How do you think technology will help small business leaders in Miami to have, you know, to shape a better way in the world market?
Well, I mean, take for example a speaker we're going to see this afternoon, Jim Maikel, who created Square. He created a way in which a small business person could process credit card payments, which previously was really cumbersome and difficult, can do it almost seamlessly. Right? So there's one way a small business owner can use technology to conduct business in a much more efficient way.
Yeah, I know obviously you are very involved with the communities, different communities here in Miami, but how do you think someone willing to open a small business in Miami, what are the steps they have to follow?
Well, in terms, I mean, I think the biggest thing is understanding what's the problem you're trying to solve. Right, thinking about sort of what is that sort of market niche you want to be in. What's that sort of, you think of the consumer, what am I doing that's going to solve that particular consumer's problem, if this is a consumer business, and then sort of going from there. But I would start at that, sort of understanding sort of what the customer is trying to, you know, what are you doing for the customer, rather than thinking about sort of what I'm just going to do, you know, in the market. You know what I mean? And so starting from
research will be very important.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So the million-dollar question is, what is next after that for small business leaders or national business leaders here at the Atlantic?
Well, what we're trying to do with this is to try and create sort of an entrepreneurial ecosystem, right? To create a network where you not only have forums like this to connect and share, but also have places to go for mentorship, places to go for funding, places to go for support, looking for talent, stuff like that, right? And so, and the thought is that it's not something where it's linear, that it's okay, here's step one, here's step two, step three. Each entrepreneur's journey is different, and so trying to create a network where that entrepreneur can follow the path that helps them solve their particular problem. You know, as we're talking about how, and thinking about launching a business, think about what problem you're trying to solve. Similarly, you know, for this, as we're trying to build out an entrepreneurial ecosystem, we're trying to think about how can we help entrepreneurs help solve their problems, and that often revolves around getting funding, finding talent, getting sort of the mentorship that's required to succeed.
But obviously an event like that is really important, you know, having all the business leaders, local business leaders, national business leaders, you know, in the same place to mingling, sharing ideas, information is very important, I would say.
Well, you know, obviously we agree, and I think particularly in a place like Miami, you know, which is just such a rich environment with so many interesting people doing remarkable things, but I still think sort of the connections has always struck us as one of the problems to solve, creating better ways in which people will be able to share with one another and learn from one another, because oftentimes, you know, you hear this so often, sort of we can be a little siloed. Ways to break those silos down, or ways to lower barriers. We think then, of course, then there's a huge value add in Miami.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Matt.
James, thank you. It is always a pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you for being here.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with much more.
The best investment in our future is the education of our children. But for many families in our community, finishing high school and attending college is only a dream. Take Stock in Children turns that dream into a reality by providing mentors, scholarships, and hope to underprivileged, at-risk teens in our community. Hi, I'm Shane Battier. Please join us. Become a mentor, a volunteer, or donate and help make a difference. Go to our website and help change the life of a child.
Welcome back. Now joining us is Vikram Dandy, Strategy Director at Microsoft, especially home for Skype Translator. Tell us more about your role into that technology.
I'm a Strategy Director for Microsoft Research, and I've also been very closely involved with the Skype Translator project, which is a culmination of many years of research in multiple technologies, speech recognition, machine translation, and speech synthesis, and bringing that to our millions of users who use Skype.
So Skype Translator, how does it work?
It's what we are trying to do with Skype Translator is to make it as familiar as possible to anybody who's used Skype. So today, in Skype, when you try to call somebody, you just pick the name, just dial, and then you get connected, and then you have a conversation. What would you do if you needed to talk to somebody who doesn't speak your language? What Skype Translator does is introduce into that experience a feature that allows you to have an interpreter, a technology that takes what you said and then understands what you said, translates it into a different language, and says it in that language, so that all of this happens, in near real time, so that the other person can understand what you said, and then when they speak back, again, it listens to them, understands what they said, and then translates it, and then speaks it out back to you.
So you are telling me now, if I want to speak with someone in Haiti, I don't need to speak Haitian Creole, they will understand me. Same thing if I want to speak with someone in Cuba, I don't need to speak Spanish. A Skype Translator will do the work for me.
For Spanish, yes. We don't yet support Haitian Creole for Skype for the speech translation part. Haitian Creole is a supported language for IM translation. So if you're using Skype Translator, you can actually have a conversation with someone in Haiti with text by typing. Spanish is the first language that we released the speech translation on. And so, yes, so the Cuba scenario that you outlined would definitely be possible.
Well, that is amazing. Imagine a local business leader here in Miami willing to open the sphere to work with someone in China or someone in Latin community. So now with Skype Translator, they will be able to communicate and share business with each other.
That's true. We've started by focusing on consumers. It's more like me talking to my mother-in-law in Germany, that type of scenarios where even if it makes a few mistakes, it's still valuable enough for us to have that experience. Of course, over time, there are lots and lots of different ways in which this can be useful.
How accessible it is for the community, also for students? I know there's a registration code. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so for Spanish is our first language, and being here in Miami, I'm very excited that we are able to partner with local communities, local organizations, and of course students here. So we would love for students to try it out and use it regularly. Today it's in a preview mode, so you need to have an invitation in order to use it, and of course you also need to be using the right platform. So if you have a Windows 8 machine and have somebody to go speak Spanish with, you can use the registration code that we're going to share and register yourself so that you get early access to this technology.
Wow, that is amazing, and I also invite the students to do the same, keep using Skype Translator. Let's talk about a student interested in technology, want to be someone like you. What is it that student has to do to grow the skills to be competitive in the market like that?
Yeah, it's actually, for me, just going through my career, the thing that stood out for me the most is making sure that you kind of go after where your passion is. Really, things that you enjoy are the things that you will do well. And so I think forcing yourself to learn a particular technology or forcing yourself into a particular type of a job just because everybody says it's kind of the cool job to have isn't the best way for you to grow long term. So for students, it would be about really find the thing that you enjoy doing and do it really, really well. And the other piece that's really important is once you do that, make sure you're unique. Think about what makes you unique and really build on top of that. I think when an employer is looking to hire somebody, or even somebody is trying to identify a partner to work with, your uniqueness and how you stand out matters a lot more than whether or not you're like everybody else.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, Vikram. I appreciate having you on set. Great information. I hope to see you and learn more about captions later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with much more.
Miami-Dade College is a great, great college.
It changed my life. Miami-Dade is really like a family. They really embrace the students. They really have a way of making you feel wanted, making you feel loved, making you feel that you could really do what you desire to do.
I am very happy that I came to Miami-Dade College North. Wonderful faculty, wonderful advisors. I feel speechless because they're so good at what they do. I feel that students should not give up. They should become someone. They should be in a major that they love.
And Miami-Dade really, has made a huge impact on my life for the better.
I feel that everyone should do that. Everyone should take that extra step and continue their education. Come here to Miami-Dade. Miami-Dade is great.
Thank you for watching. Joining us now is Nicolas, the co-founder of WinCode. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's exciting.
What is WinCode for our viewers?
So WinCode is a coding boot camp. So what we're basically doing is taking people with limited or a little bit of coding background and putting them in a boot camp environment for 9 weeks. So you're joining us every single day from 10 to 6, maybe longer, and learning coding skills and business skills that are relevant to working at a startup. So our goal is to get people jobs in tech companies locally. We've had 70 graduates right now, and 92% are placed with local South Florida tech companies.
So is it open for everybody, students, members of the community?
Yeah, so we're licensed by the Florida basically Department of Education. It's called the Commission of Independent Education, and it just means students have to be over 18, so it's an adult program. We get students from 18 all the way up to, we've had students over 50 years old. So it is by application, so people apply to be part of the program, and we basically look for what are they looking to do with the coding skills, but also are they able to dedicate the time that they need, to really learn these skills, because that's what it really takes. The common denominator is like being able to work very hard.
Great. Tell us more about the connection between WinCode and the communities. I know you are very involved in the community. So
we've found that from day one, the Miami tech community has been really welcoming of us, so we've really wanted to be a part of the community as much as possible. So obvious link is the hiring partnerships. So really we work with over 80 companies now. About 20 of them have hired WinCode students. So these are companies that are based from sort of Palm Beach on down, all the way down to Miami, and they're hiring our students. But we also do big community events like Pitch Day, where our students actually show off the full stack web applications, like essentially the apps that they built during the course. We get 300 people out to those, and that's a really great community event. And then we bring in guest speakers. So we bring in everybody from local entrepreneurs to angel investors to people who are community leaders to talk about Miami Tech and convince our students to stay here, because we want everybody to be here and contribute to Miami Tech.
Yeah. I know that computer science jobs are growing pretty fast at a national level. How important do you think it is for small business leaders here in Miami to hire students with such skills?
So it's really important. Actually, what we're finding is that these business leaders, they have this need already and they recognize it. What a lot of them don't realize is that there are local people down here who have the skill set, and that's what we're trying to prove. The other thing is that traditionally a lot of these companies have thought you need a university degree or a college degree in computer science to do this, and it's not needed. There's a lot of amazing programs that can get you going, and in ours, with the immersive model that we have, we're basically teaching what our hiring partners want. So we ask them, what skill sets do you want? Then we are teaching those to our students, so it ends up a really great pathway to getting a great job.
So we know by 2020 we'll have about 1.4 million new jobs in computer science field. So you think that a student should start right now majoring in computer science? It will be good?
Yeah, so I mean, I would say that students are already behind if they start learning today. You know, this is a skill set that everybody needs. You know, you don't need to do a major in computer science, you know, but if you look at the economy today, President Obama just did a big announcement with his Tech Hire initiative, and what he talked about is that there's 500,000 jobs available right now. So that 1.4 million number is going to be passed by a lot. And what we're seeing is non-traditional companies. So an air conditioning company, Watsco, based out of Miami, $4 billion company, now considers itself a tech company because they need to build apps, and they've hired 4 of our students to start a new area called Watsco Ventures to build apps for themselves and other similar companies.
Wow, that's really great. Thank you so much. You have appreciate the time. It was great, and hope that more students will get engaged, get involved more with WinCode.
Thank you. Yeah, they can just go to our website, wincode.co, and it's wyncode.co, and check it out. And we'd love to speak with any students that are interested.
Wonderful. We're going to take another break. Stay with us. We have much more coming up.
Cool programs for hot jobs. Let Miami-Dade College jumpstart your career. We offer bachelor's degrees in physician assistant studies, biological sciences, education, and public safety management. Or choose from 300 other programs. With our flexible course schedules, you can take classes during the day, evening, weekend, or online. For more info, visit MDC.edu or call 305-237-8888. Get the knowledge and training for today's in-demand jobs. Register now.
Joining us now is Dr. Gibson from Ecotech. Tell us more about your participation here today.
Yes, I'm here to learn from all the wonderful presenters that are presenting here. It's been an amazing lineup this morning, and a lot of a wealth of information about where we get to go in Miami and how we can learn from what's happening across the country and the globe. I'm actually participating in a panel also talking about the incubator startup space landscape and us being one of those co-working incubator accelerator-ish spaces in Miami, maker space, what we call ourselves. We are excited to be a part of that panel.
What do you think is next for Ecotech after that third annual of Atlantic City Startup?
Oh, well, the next big thing for us is a launch that we're having on April 30th called #LocalIs. That is a sort of social media campaign and launch where we'll be speaking about the opportunities to invest and the opportunities to learn or purchase from the 18 ecopreneur companies that we house at Ecotech to date.
Obviously, technology is a big role helping local business to grow. Mingling today with other local business leaders, how do you think it's going to be a great tool for you, for your company?
Well, it's really interesting. So as I'm sitting in the green room with another panelist who has an amazing local product, Lemon City Tea, she was talking about how she's hit a threshold and needs support to grow her business. And then as someone else told her about Ecotech, she's like, oh my God, this is a perfect place for us. So we're having a follow-up conversation where we can provide support. So I mean, that along, that there's a huge need in the ecosystem to support product-based businesses, and we're just happy to be here to be able to do it and to have a team that's willing to do that work so that we can grow local businesses in other areas like tech utensils and manufacturing products.
Wow, Dr. Gibson, thank you so much. I know you're very engaged in the community as well, so it's a pleasure having you always.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with much more.
Fresh thinking is being served at Miami-Dade College. Create your own recipe for success in the evolution of food culture at the Miami Culinary Institute. Learn the skills you need to jumpstart your career in the culinary arts. Turn green into gourmet and celery into salary. Miami Culinary Institute. Food, culture, innovation. Visit us at miamidadeculinary.com. Register now. Miami Culinary Institute.
Welcome back to our last segment. Joining us now is Jason. Jason, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Tell us more about your company.
Sure. So I have a 16,000 square foot co-working space in Midtown Manhattan. We host all different types of companies, very early stage, and we provide amenities to help their businesses grow. So it works like an incubator.
Okay, but you're not only in Manhattan, you're also in Miami. You have a business in Miami.
So I have another business that we founded in Miami. That's a whole different business that does paperwork automation. I'm sort of a serial entrepreneur. That's what they call me.
Okay. So what is it? How is it? What is it you have to do? What are the steps you had to follow to become a business leader?
So that's a very detailed question. So I'm going to try to break it down and give you the best advice possible. I think the first thing is to really think about what you want to do and to learn all the different options about what you want to do and get into that market. Become an intern, you know, for, let's say you wanted to become, you know, a broadcaster, go into like MBC and, you know, meet you and like work with you and see the little intricacies of what it really takes, because some businesses look great to the outside world, but when you get involved, you really learn a lot more of what, you know, makes it an actual business. And then obviously, you know, once you do that, accept failure, you know, try your hardest at developing a passion for what you do, and so on and so forth. So it's a loaded question, but
Startup City third annual. What do you think the business leaders on a national or local level will gain from as experience?
So I think that events like this, more than anything, bring a community together. So you're able to meet like-minded people, and it's really important if you want to develop any type of business that you network properly. And getting a community together of supportive, like-minded people can aid in that growth substantially. So I think the most important thing is meeting people, networking, learning what's going on in your city, and that's why events like this are super important.
How important do you think it is for a student to learn how to, you know, code and technology, to incorporate that into business?
Yeah, I think the last statistic I read was 98% of all businesses are done online. So if you want to be an entrepreneur and you want to learn how to do things from an internal level, I think learning how to code is definitely necessary. Even if you're not going to become a coder, as long as you know how to code, you can learn how to develop a business and how to talk to other coders. So I think at an early stage, it is super important. If it's one thing that I would have did differently with myself, I would have learned to code. So I think it's been a big crippler, you know, to me.
If a student want to work with Jason right now, what is it that student has to do?
So we have a huge internship program. We take thousands of applications nationwide. We have a really great program. We talked about it in like the Wall Street Journal, where interns don't get coffee. You know, we really like to teach interns every aspect of business. And in my space, where we work with so many businesses, we need so many interns, and we can teach them such valuable lessons. So apply on alleynyc.com. We have summer and fall internships in New York City, and hopefully soon to be Miami.
Wow. Thank you so much, Jason. I appreciate it.
All right,
Thank you so much. Thank you for watching MDC in Action. My name is James Pierre. We'll see you next time.